All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys had a great week. It was a short week after all. So let's talk about headlines. We'll go into the SPY charts and etc. So the number one headline this week really was about Nvidia topping the world's largest public traded company as number one by market cap. But that was short lived. So it hit on Thursday morning when Nvidia hit about 141 in the morning in pre-market. And ever since then, all the semis just cooled off, including AVGO, Broadcom, including ARM, including Dell, and all your SMCIs. All those names started taking a breather over the last couple of days. And we had some dips in the market. Um, so that was really the biggest news. Other than that, there was really no big news over the course of the week. And of course, next week we are looking forward to the PCE data. If you take a look at the charts right now, as of now, I'm recording this a little bit early in the afternoon here, about 3 p.m. Eastern time. And so far, it's something to be concerned about is this weekly candle. Right now, it is a classic shooting star. All right, we ended up hitting 550, and that was our upside target this week was actually 546. So we went to 550 in the pre-market. Unfortunately, once SPX gapped up to the 5,500 level, 5,505 was the all-time highs this week. Unfortunately, the market pulled back, which is okay, but it pulled back very logically to the 5450 area. So as of right now, the S&P 500 is still above 5450. Everything is still, to me right now, the market's pretty much consolidated between 5450 and 5500. So there's nothing too bearish about the market as of right now. So we'll have to see, going into next week. So you got a shooting star on SPY. So pretty flat week throughout on the Qs. The Qs is even a little bit more flat, and you have it, and you're printing a doji star on the weekly. So that's a little bit concerning, but I want to remind our viewers that weekly candles, however bullish, however bearish it may seem, you're headed into next week where there's going to be major data. Number one is going to be GDP and PCE Thursday. So next week's data, here you go, is so you got no data on Monday. Tuesday, consumer confidence. That might be an important, okay? Cook, 2 p.m. You got 2-year bonds, Goldman, Wednesday, 5-year notes, okay? Some stress test results. Thursday, jobless claims numbers, GDP is going to be a big one. And of course, PCE, 8:30 a.m. on Friday. So that is the preferred gauge for the Feds going into next week. So quickly, just want to show you guys this chart on published by B of A. And they're thinking that the next level up is 5,600. And I actually believe that. I'll show you guys on the charts as well. Now, this is, excuse me. Now, this is the percentage of stocks above the 50-day moving average in the S&P 500. All right. Now, we started charting this just about maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and we've been tracking this. So this is your May 31st dip here, and the market ripped into the summertime. And right now, this is in a kind of an ascending wedge here. And if this starts breaking out, you're going to see a lot of stocks run. So right in time for July as well. And next week is going to be end of the month and also end of the quarter. And you're going to have window dressing, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next week. So for my outlook next week, it's going to be bullish. All right. So if we take a look at the chart, okay, so number one, SPY issued or performed the X dividend. All right. So kind of messing up my chart. And you got this gap to 547 because of the X div, right? So my upside target for next week is actually 552. This was our target going into the rest of this week, 552. And my long-term target over on the probably mid-July or end of July, I think that we're going to be hitting the 5,600, and that'll be right about the 560, 561 or 562. So I'm going to put my target right about 560. Sometime this summer, July, end of July or mid-July after the PC run up. So if the PC is soft on Friday, and I think it will be, and since the CPI, the PPI all has been trending the right direction for the Feds, so I think that the next week target, we're going to blow past the 550. resistance, obviously 5,500, and we're probably going to go a little bit higher. Now, what we need to watch next week, guys, is the stochastics. All right, so right now the SPY stochastics on the 4-hour is winding down, and this is perfect setup, guys, going into Monday or Tuesday next week. Now, I do expect Monday and Tuesday to be kind of just, chop again as the market awaits a GDP data or speculates on PCE data. But you're looking at that 4-hour stochastic, and that's looking very good. This is the first reset since May 31st, you guys. So once that thing resets, this is that, that kind of setup for me to be heavy on calls going into the PCE data. You're looking at a 2-hour, and you have a divergence here. All right, so here's the lows from June 14th. All right, 2-hour divergence, and it's performing lower lows on the stochastic and higher highs in the prices. Now the 1 hour also is showing some level of divergence as well. So these are things to watch going into next week. So if we look at the daily chart as of right now, there's still about 50 minutes until the bell. It's just a simple daily doji day. All right, so you had a pretty good route yesterday. Now, the problem here is that we are literally stuck under the 5-daily moving average. Maybe we can get above that at some point later this afternoon or Monday morning. But once we pop over the 5-day moving average, currently at 546, then I think we're going to probably retest the 550. So once again, my upside target is going to be 552 for next week and 543 to probably maybe even Monday morning. They slap it right back down to 543 again. So, any of those scenarios can happen. So now let's go take a look at the Nvidias of the world and what's been going on with the week with these semi stocks. Excuse me. So we see that Nvidia actually had a bearish engulfing candle yesterday. All right, ended up under the 5-daily moving average. I am carrying some Nvidias overnight, so that it doesn't look too terrible with that. Excuse me. It doesn't look too terrible with that particular doji day. You look at Microsoft. Microsoft, I believe, is going to 461. Once it breaks through to 450.99 or 451, it's probably going to achieve all-time high. Now, Nvidia has hit the number one largest market cap in the world, and Microsoft already reclaimed that this morning. Okay, so Microsoft is number one. So I think they're going to pump Microsoft some point at next week. So I'm carrying some Microsoft going into the weekend. Amazon, I do believe Amazon's ready for a breakout into highs, probably retest 191 to 192, and eventually higher. Now, Amazon is kind of one of those charts or one of those stocks is kind of a grind. Once it makes a big move, it generally starts consolidating. But I do like Amazon's spot here, and I do think that it's going to break out next week. So that's going to be my top watch for next week: Amazon and Microsoft and Nvidia. MU reports earnings on Wednesday. I'm holding this over the weekend because it gap filled. I was looking for this gap fill this morning at the 135, 136 level, and look, it actually tried to close the gap above 142, but it didn't quite get there yet. So yeah, that's all I'm pretty much holding, except AMDs, AMDLs. AMD actually did pretty good this week. After it came to fill this 153 gap, and boom, it took off the next day. So that was pretty good as well. Once again, so my upside target next week is 552, 543 on the downside. And I think with the soft PCE numbers, we should be hitting our target pretty easily at some point next, by Wednesday to Friday of next week. As far as the schematics go, all right, yeah, we're going to probably chop around for the rest of the day. But I do expect some move on Monday morning. Sorry, probably hit this trend line here, double top reject, double bottom here, and boom, and take off if this data is good, because the stochastics right now is actually lining up with the thesis going into next Friday, especially given that the 4-hour stochastic is actually coming back down on the floor. So with that, guys, I'll see you guys back on Monday. I'll probably publish some charts in the Telegram chat room over the weekend as well.